Hello, my all friends and my dear viewers. I, Mr. Bihar, welcome you all to my this YouTube channel, and especially I welcome you all to this video tutorial. Friends, communication is a process where a series of activities happens. In this activities, in this series of activities, there are different elements such as sender, message, encoding, receiver, transmission, and so on. So friends, how these elements are amalgamated and how the sequence is maintained in its intended meaning. In this video tutorial, friends, I am going to take a review of the overall process of communication. So let us see.
Friends, in this video tutorial we are going to have a look towards how communication takes place, real process of communication, how it takes place, how it happens, and what are those elements which are responsible for this process. So we are going to see. You might be knowing communication process is a sequence of activities where the message sent by the sender is understood by the receiver in its intended meaning. Communication is a process that connects the sender with the receiver of the message. A process is a systematic series of actions, operations, or series of changes directed to some end. However, in real life situations, communication process is more complex than it sounds. It consists of a series of elements which results in sharing of meaning by sender and receiver. Here are few elements that will show you how the process of communication takes place. So let us see those points. Just have a look. Now here, what are the elements? Those elements play a major role in the process of communication. We are going to see the first, sender. Sender is the person who initiates, generates, and sends the message. He represents the source of message. The communication process begins with when the sender develops an idea or message that he wants to transmit. He must arrange the ideas in a manner that can be understood by the receiver. A lecturer delivering a lecture in the classroom is the sender of the message. The next element is message. Message is the idea or information that the sender wants to convey. He may convey it verbally, by writing or speaking, or non-verbally, through gestures or body language. Whatever the form, the message should be clearly formed so that desired objective is accomplished. Then the next element is encoding. Once the sender is clear of what message he wants to transmit, he thinks of the code through which the message shall be transmitted. Encoding refers to giving meaning to the message or converting ideas into codes which can be understood by the receiver. Encoding means translating the message into words, written or spoken, symbols or gestures. It may be a combination of the three. The code should be appropriate to the situation, that is interpreted by the receiver in the manner intended. Then transmission. It involves selecting the medium or channel of communication. One decided that the message has to be sent in writing The sender may select the electronic channel and medium of email or fax. Short messages can be transmitted through telephone, but lengthy messages can be sent through letters or circulars. The choice of a channel depends upon the message to be conveyed, personal biases of the sender, and nature of information. As said, short messages are generally sent through telephone, where drawings, charts, and illustrations form part of the message. It should be sent in writing. Then the next element is here we find in the process of communication is receiver. Now, receiver is the person or a group of persons to whom the message is conveyed. In case of telephone conversation, the sender can send a message to one receiver, but in case of group discussions, seminars and conferences, receivers can be more than one. The message must be designed, encoded and transmitted in a manner that receiver can understand it easily. Use of technical words, jargons and complicated symbols should be avoided. Depending on the channel selected, receiver may be a listener, viewer or a reader. Then the next element in the process of communication is decoding. Decoding means giving meaningful interpretation to the message. On receiving the message, the receiver translates the symbols into meaningful information to the best of his ability. Communication is effective if receiver understands the message in the same way as intended by the sender. The receiver must, therefore, be familiar with the codes and symbols used by the sender in the message. The next element in the process of communication is noise. It represents the disturbing factor in the process of communication. It interferes with effective communication and reduces clarity of the message. The message may be interpreted differently than intended by the sender. Conversing near a machine making sounds, disturbance in telephone line, physical ailment or mental distress of sender or receiver. Psychological barriers are the common forms of noise that obstruct the quality of message transmitted from sender to the receiver. The last point in the process of communication is feedback. Feedback is the receiver's response to sender's message. The receiver communicates his reaction to the sender through words, symbols, or gestures. It is the reversal of communication process where receiver becomes the sender and sender becomes the receiver. Unless the receiver responds to the sender's message, communication process is incomplete. Feedback helps the sender to transform his message if needed. It also allows the receiver to clear doubts on the message, ask questions to build his confidence, and enables the sender to know efficiency of the message. Feedback makes the communication process complete. Friends, thus, in face-to-face communication, the sender can immediately receive the feedback. Written communication, on the other hand, takes longer for the sender to receive feedback on the message. A written notice sent by the manager to all the employees to work 7 days a week instead of 6 can be implemented when everybody has read the notice. And friend, thus, it enables the sender to know efficiency of his message, whether or not the receiver has understood the message in its right meaning. Thus, feedback makes the communication process complete. these are the certain elements that falls into category of process of communication.